Hello, everybody. Yeah, let's get our wahoos and our claps going on. Welcome to Seattle Drum School of Music, the lab at 1010, and we are super excited today to host this workshop by multi-talented artist Blake Lewis. I'll be back up to tell you about some other things that we do here that are focused on youth musicians. But for right now, I would just like to thank Veterans of the Arts for bringing this event here, a new nonprofit supporting musicians, and David will tell you more about that along the way as well. But let me welcome to the stage David Michael Stedman. By the way, in case you have not been here before, restrooms and water are right down the hall here. And we've got some percussions that if you feel like helping yourselves to, please do. All right, David, take it away.
Okay. How you guys doing? How you feeling? Now I can tell you, for my friends Isaiah and T-Spade, Tori, myself, Blake, one lesson, kids, I want you guys to think about is getting voice lessons so you don't have husky voices like we do. Because we sang our tails off, and we talked to a lot of people and made things happen. But I'll tell you what, we had this dream a year ago that Blake and I were talking about making this happen. And I want you guys to know that if you got a dream, if you got something you want to work on, it's cool to think about it way ahead of time. It's cool to be able to work on it. When you have a goal, the fun thing is, for the past year, we've been like just chatting and having a reason to talk and dream things up and telling each other good news and struggles because we're all working towards a goal together. And I want you to know that, like, kids, no one does anything on their own. It's like if someone says, I made this on my own. No, you didn't. It's a community. Isaiah, my friend here, he worked with our friend Michael Goodson on the poster that blew people's minds. They thought it was fantastic, and he was with us every step of the way. And our friend Michael Goodson is struggling with cancer. He's in the last stages of cancer, but the art and being part of it. And one of the beautiful things he told me was, he said this, I'm going to be real. He said, David, it's been so cool making posters with you, but he's like, it's been amazing to be able to work with someone like Isaiah, who believes in me and believes in what I do and have someone to collaborate with. And I feel like through art and making things together, I don't feel so alone, right? So, and I want you guys to think about when you guys are making music and you guys are making art. Sometimes, kids, you're going to be by yourself practicing, but you're practicing on your own so that you can meet up with other people and make new friends and practice so that you get into a place where you can hold your own and find your voice. I know a lot of you kids have music in your head. I want you guys to think about this. When you get little musical ideas, find a way to record it. We used to have little reel-to-reel tapes. We used to have all kinds of technology. In our final form, it's our cell phones. But when you guys have a good idea musically in your mind, I promise you it's good. And keep recording it. The first time you hear yourself when you're recording, your voice sounds weird, doesn't it? You're like, this is me, right? And if you keep doing it, you're going to start matching the voice in your head with the voice people hear, and you're going to find your own voice. And I think a person like Blake really shook us in the best way because he wasn't even 21, and he was so ready to play music that our friends let him into bars early because they got to get this talent into here to be able to make it happen. So it's cool, kids. If you have questions, if you have ideas, you're going to have a chance to be able to work with Blake right now and make things happen. If you guys have a musical idea in your head, I want you to share it, okay? You feel that? Yeah. And I believe that every single one of you kids has a hit song inside you, and some of you got 10, so, right? And a lot of people, the saddest thing about maybe music is that a lot of people never had a chance to get those ideas out. So a person like Blake is going to show you how to get your ideas out. And we started this nonprofit called Veterans of the Arts because we believe that, like, some of our friends, we had a 83-year-old magician from Pike Place Market come and do magic. And we have young kids here. I want you to know that no matter what age you are, you have something to contribute. And I want you guys to keep your dreams alive, all right? Keep your dreams alive, right? And one thing I'm going to tell you is I get in trouble. I'm the worst babysitter because I get kids too excited. You know what I'm saying? But this is a place where you can get excited. If you feel it and you want to dance or you want to move, this is a safe place to be able to express yourself. And you guys are with a friend who he's kind of a superstar. You know what I mean? He's a superstar to us. And I want you guys to know that it's not about being a big star. It's about being yourself. And there's a piano player. I'm going to drop some knowledge on you kids that changed my entire life. And I'm going to say this, and you'll probably forget about it. And 30 years later, you're going to remember this thing I said. Thelonious Monk said, "The genius is the one who is most like himself." All right. So, hey, Blake, come on up. Blake Lewis, my man.
Hello, everybody. Give it up for David putting this together, the Seattle Drum School. Man, if I can reiterate what David just said, being yourself. It does wonders, being yourself. And I was a very loner, weird child until I got to communicate with others that were like me. And last night and the night before, it was like a celebration of communication. We got to share the stage with so many different artists, all walks of life. You know, who here has like songs in their head or sounds or noises or like rhythm, right? Pulsating through you. You want to let it out, right? And this weekend we did a lot of that, and the stages were elated. Everyone was happy. It was such a positive experience. This whole weekend's been amazing. It's so great to be here with you all today. And we're going to make some music together. And what you were talking about earlier, we used to like record, you guys know what cassette tapes are? Right? So I had one of those mini recorders when I was like, who's like 10 in here? Like 10, right? So when I was your age, I had this little mini recorder, and I would just be like, walking around, making like beats, not knowing it was beatboxing. You know, I didn't know it had a name. I was just like, just a kid having fun, getting the noise or the voices that I have in my head. I watched cartoons all the time, just trying to be them. Like, oh, I can do that voice. Dude, that's cool. It's great. Okay, everybody, you know, just random voices, letting it out, like being weird. I was that kid that looked into the mirror and doing weird faces at himself, you know, wanted to be a comedian. And all that inspiration soaked up, and you got to let it out somehow. And I wanted to be a drummer really, really bad. Like, I just fell in love. I knew I had rhythm inside me. I was singing at an early age. My mom's a singer. She sings bluegrass. She's like a country finger-picking guitarist. And so I grew up with like harmonies, 3-part harmonies and all this stuff. But that wasn't like my sound. I knew I was like, I'm not a bluegrass kid. You know what I mean? Like, good job, Mom. I love you. You sound great. But I was like, that's not my style. That's not who I am. So I got to find who I am. And of course that takes time, but as you're developing, you're like just letting things out and creating and whatnot. I wanted to play piano, but I wanted drums so bad. I ask for drums every year. I wake up, it's Christmas, I think I'm 11, and there's drumsticks in my stocking. And I'm like, I like run downstairs. I'm like, where's the drum set? And my dad's like, we didn't get you a drum set. But we did get you this amp and a microphone. And I was like, okay. You know, ungrateful child, you know. And then, miraculously, in that time, I'm like, I'd never really been on a microphone. And I'm just like, ooh, okay, that's something. You know, like, just making, you know, weird noises. You know, making fun sounds. You know, playing with back in the day, I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I don't know if there's any of you out there, but I was like a Michelangelo guy, so, you know, Raphael's cool, but Michelangelo's the party dude, so, you know. I like to party. We're partying right now. Let's go. And pizza does sound nice. Anyway, weird kid, not knowing that there was others out there like me. And then one day, you know, I get this microphone and this amp, and that kind of just like, it was like a revelation. It was just like, whoa, this is my voice now. You know, it's like, oh, I sound like this? Back in the day, you hear your voice on an answering machine, like you were saying, you're like, that's what I sound like? You know, I leave voice, I'm like, people call my message machine on my phone, and I'm always like, I'm trying to sound like Jason Statham or someone cool, you know, like, leave a message at the tone, you know? But you're developing your voice, you're singing. Anyone sing out there? We got some vocalists? All right. Yeah, I love it. So, singing was first. I learned from my mama. I got it from my mama. My dad is tone deaf. He can't sing. And I love him, but it's painful. I'm like, Dad, stop singing, dude. Mom.
He loves it. He loves it.
He's like, but I don't want to. Anyway, what I want to say is the voice inside of you should be expressed. You know, the musical voice inside of you, the rhythmic side of you. There's so many ways to do it. There's not a wrong way to do it at all. You know? And that's what it doesn't really take much, you know what I mean? It's just like, you just got to do it, you know? And that's what you were talking about, repetition and practicing and rehearsing. As soon as I got the microphone and the amp, because it kind of switched, it was just like, oh, it's not just me. I'll be like, Seattle, drum, skill, jump, battle, drum, skill. And now, from a microphone and an amp came toys. I became a beatboxer in high school. I was doing it my whole life. I was your age. Wanted a drum set. And then I got out of high school and I fell in love with a cappella music. 5 guys just singing, you know? Adding harmony. Nowadays, you guys have iPhones, you got iPads, you got Kindle, there's so much technology out there. This is what we like to call as hardware. Standalone instruments, it's got a little, tiny little computer chip that just allows me to record my voice, record at a touch of a button. Yeah! Getting it! Excuse me. Yeah, anyway. So, raise your hands if you know what beatboxing is. Keep them up if you know what looping is. Okay. All right, couple of you know what looping is. So looping is what I just did. Recording your voice instantaneously and playing it back to you. So this is a loop. 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 This is a loop.
This is also a loop.
This is a loop.
This is also a loop.
This is a loop.
This is also a loop.
This is a loop.
I'm feeling loopy.
This is a loop.
I'm feeling loopy.
This is a loop.
I'm feeling loopy.
This is a loop. Yeah, that got annoying real quick. You know, I was the annoying kid in my class. Fun fact, before I found the outlet of like, oh, I can express myself. I can do this. I can turn my energy into something focused. I was all over the place. I'm an ADHD kid. I'm like, you know what's that's like, right? Squirrel. What? Squirrel. Hey, mom, can we? What did I talk? Oh no. Okay, we should do this right now, right? Wait, what was I doing? Yeah. Oh, that's who I was, and all these voices and sounds in my head, they start piling up. You gotta express yourself. Express yourself. Getting it. And so I joined a choir. I wanted to be on stage, like drama class. I just wanted to be in front of anyone. If there was a microphone around, as soon as I found beatboxing and it became real, it was subconscious and it became conscious. It was just like, you couldn't shut me up before. Now I got a microphone? Let's go. So open mics, anywhere, like kids' theaters, all ages venues, anytime, like stuff you guys coming out here today. I was looking for those opportunities. I was sitting right there where you are watching someone else, like, teach me something. Teaching's so valuable. I appreciate every music teacher, my choir hood teacher. My junior high choir teacher.
I
came
met
to
your
our
choir
show.
teacher last night. She
Did
was
you?
so proud of you. She was at
Yeah.
the show, yeah.
Yeah. There was like 3 teachers that I had from junior high that came out last night, and it was just like, thank you for harnessing my energy, you know? They're the teachers, the unsung heroes of childhood development.
I had to thank him. I was like, thank you for making sure that Blake has a wonderful timbre. I was like, I like where the resonance is. I was like, it felt like Blake always had, you came as a singer that could, you knew your voice and you could sing. And that was a beautiful thing. A lot of people like go out there and they're raw, but you kind of came on the scene with like, this guy can sing choir. He knows what a tenor is.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. I was a choir boy for sure,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
still am. Anyway, to get to the point, I want to know if you guys want to jam with me. If you would like to come up here and, you know, have some fun with this gear. So when I got out of high school, I joined an a cappella group, and we toured the West Coast. I was young, I was 18, turning 19, and we were booked constantly. And they got me into all these effects pedals. And at that time, it was mainly just guitar or bass effects pedals. Like, you know, if you guys play guitar, you can put a microphone through that. And it's fun. And it sounds super fun. You know? And that's what I basically got up here. That kind of, I mean, around like 2000, like more effects pedals were made for vocals.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really effects pedals for vocalists at all. I mean, there might have been like a reverb or a delay. You know? But that was about it. I had a big old pedal board. And now everything is, I can pretty much do everything on this unit, which is called a chaos pad. A chaos pad. Because it causes chaos.
Hey, Blake, I got a question for you. I remember back in the first loop pedal days, even you wouldn't hit it right because it was like on your foot, and then you have to start over again. It was now it seems like as the new technology made it less likely, because you'd be looping in front of thousands of people and be like, and do it over again, like because you're a human being. What happened where now technology allows you to have like a higher batting average of just being able to not have human error happen?
Right, so all my pedals were on the ground, and as a performer, like, if I'm doing this, you know, you guys lose interest because there's no eye contact. You gotta, like, as a stage performer, I'm trying to see all of y'all because I want all of you to have a good time. And if you're not having a good time, I'm not doing my job right. Granted, it's like the best job in the world, being a performer, being allowed to make weird noises on stage for people is like a dream come true, you know? Especially being a weird kid from the burbs, you know? Like, so nowadays, so I had foot pedals, and it's just hard to, you know, it's usually good. You're like doing thing, you're like loop. But here it's just like, it's just so quick and easy, and this is a mixing. This guy is called, this is a Boss RC 505 loop station. This is specifically made for looping. And it has fun gear, got a filter. It's like a DJ setup for a vocalist or anyone, a guitarist. You can plug any kind of instrument in here. But it has fun, you know. It's got fun stuff. So that's called master effects of stuff I already looped. And then there's reverb. I'm in a space.
Help me. I fell down a well.
Don't you think reverb is like one of those dangerous things because it's so cool we overdo it? Like it's.
I do it. I thought I was overdoing it last night. I can't tell sometimes. I'm like, too many effects to play with on stage. And then this one is my favorite feature that they actually put on here, because this pedal was tested by beatboxers. When I was young, there wasn't many beatboxers around. You couldn't go on the internet to see your friends or people like you. You know, if you were in the hip hop world, there was maybe someone that was lacing a beat for an MC, and you were like lucky enough to join a cipher. Yeah. Do you have a question? I did use MySpace. I did. I that was like the only social media at the time that I was like gaining momentum before I was on TV. I was just like, you know, like, oh, cool. Like this is awesome. Like,
It felt like MySpace was this you kids are in a world of algorithms where things are being grouped into certain ways. MySpace was a game changer because I thought it was simply the most amazing thing that I could go see somebody's profile, who they were, and the first thing you did was listen to their music. And you're like, this person either made this music or like represent them, and then there became a thing where like, I like that song too. I want that song. And we experienced things going viral, and it was a beautiful time, and they convinced us to go to Facebook, and that was a mistake, but that's changing the subject. But MySpace was a golden era of just, I like your song. I think I like you.
dude, you were in my top 8.
Oh, that's a big deal.
You were in my top 8?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We have a MySpace song somewhere on the internet. You can find it yourself, but it's out there. We have a MySpace tribute.
Yeah, true. Like, do you guys remember or know the band One Republic? Yeah. It's too late to apologize. That song was on MySpace for 4 years before it came out on the radio. The same mix. Like literally, that song was out in the world on MySpace for 4 years, and incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it definitely changed the game. And Facebook was really great, and now it's just like, it's still great. I still love it all, because you get to communicate and connect with others that you wouldn't normally, all over the world, internationally.
It was a weird moment because we're like, am I really talking to Justin Timberlake? Like, he just didn't know. And then it was a moment where I think for a while there, it's like the guy from Blues Traveler is like, hey, I'm like, you're the dude from Blues Traveler. I play harmonica. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was a magical moment, but I think this is what it's all about, really.
Exactly. Kinetic energy. This is why I'm a live performer. I love making records. It's fun. You can take your time, but this is instant. That's a weird rhythm. Instant. You know? Like instant creation. instant, 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 instant,
Give me some of that coffee, baby. Give me some of that coffee, baby. Give me some of that coffee, baby. Coffee, baby. That coffee, baby. That coffee, baby. That coffee, baby.
Instant. You know, but that just from something weird, saying instant and that instant, and it did an extra because I didn't hit the loop right. But what's right and what's wrong? There is no right or wrong when you're creating. It was this, right? Instant, 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 4, 5, 6, instant, instant, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, so you got a different rhythm there. When usually most music is 4/4. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of pop music, you know what I mean? You're gonna hear some of this. You know?
Coffee, baby.
Instant.
Coffee, baby.
Instant.
Coffee, baby.
Instant.
Coffee, baby.
Instant. You know? You're gonna, but this is gonna be blues. 1, 2, 3. Facing the she you know, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, for me that's like the one popular song that I was like, oh, this is cool. This is Red Hot Chili Peppers doing this rhythm. That's cool. That's not typical, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so.
Tell them about Mutt and Jeff. There's different ways of putting it, but like for me in college, this professor told me, he's like, David, in Western music, in every song you listen to, there's two people involved, Mutt and Jeff. What's your name for it? But Mutt, Jeff, Mutt, Jeff, Mutt, Jeff, Mutt, Jeff, Jeff.
Yeah, mine's Boots and Pants.
There you go.
Or Boots and Cats, which is it's famous. I don't know who put it out there, but it's Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats, Boots and. This is just beatboxing 101, right? Right. So you got Boots and Cats and Boots and Cats and Cats. So the ands are the hi hat, right?
That was a Geico commercial.
It was a Geico. Save money with Geico with Boots and Cats. Boots and Cats. Boots and Cats. But if you shorter, man, my dyslexia is
2 hours, brother.
2 hours, baby.
2 hours sleep.
If you shorten everything, so the boots is just the. You got a kick drum. The and is a. Cats. It's all vowel shape, like you were learned. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. If you do that with beatboxing, like, you know, you're just spreading your mouth movements. It creates a different sound. You got ha 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 ho, you know, any kind of. I just sounded like a monkey right there for some reason, but you know, if you go like this, can everyone go tss, right? Can you do that? So, everyone go. Right? You're all beatboxing right now. You change the to a sh, or like a sh, and now do that, but smile with it. Go. Do you hear all the different, there's so many different frequencies and pitches in what you're doing. If you focus that pitch, you have the so now you have a shaker. And this is my favorite thing to do as a beatboxer. Because maybe I'm rocking with David on stage, but I'm not beatboxing. And there's a part in this song where it goes to this really cool moment. I can be on stage and just add a shaker, because he didn't have a shaker on stage. You're being a percussive auxiliary instrument. And that's one of my favorite things to do ever as a musician. He'll be rocking the mic, and I'll just be up there going, yeah! That's a shaker, you know?
Yeah,
You know? It's like white noise, you know what I mean? People go to sleep to this stuff, you know? But now you got boots and cats. You got boots and cats all day. Oh, that loop was a little off, so we're gonna change it, right? So we're gonna go. That's almost like a Michael Jackson rhythm. Liberian girl, you know. No, sorry. So I grew up on Michael Jackson and Robin Williams. Those are my the two of the Mount Rushmore for my beatboxing. You know, I grew up with Robin Williams. You guys know Robin Williams? You ever see Hook?
Hook, man.
You know?
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy. I was a Mork and Mindy kid.
He'd be like, ooh, that's bad, making weird noise.
Look at the alien.
More kalinosin, kalinosin.
Mork! Here's a fun one. Can any of you whistle? Can all of you hum? So if you hum and whistle at the same time, you get.
Almost like.
Right? So, growing up, being a fan of Mork and Mindy, he was always doing that stuff. He was going, you know, weird noises and a little R2D2, you know. So you can use and everything. Okay, we built a beat. Just a whistle, making weird noises. That's the fun thing about loop pedals. And anyone can have one. There's apps on phones. You know, you just plug in earbuds. And it's really easy. And I would love for any of you to come up on stage or want to jam with me, jam by yourself, jam together. There's also fun ways of doing improv. If I could get 4 or 5 of you or all of you up on stage, we can do this really cool exercise in looping without a loop pedal. You guys want to come up stage? Anyone that wants to participate? We got 2 microphones and we're going to pass them around. You don't be This is about letting your freak flags fly. Yeah. Yeah, we should hand it some microphone. All right. Okay, everyone, can you guys line up this way, like right down the line this way? Yeah, look at all y'all. Okay. Welcome to the stage. Okay, so you're gonna get the second mic, okay? What's your name?
Max.
Max? And what's your name?
Henry.
Henry? All right, okay, Max and Henry. What we're gonna do is you gotta start a line. Or I can start a line. But then you gotta copy my line. So we're both doing it together. And then once we get that, then you make up your own line. But then you gotta copy his line and then make up your own line. Yeah, here.
Wait, I don't.
All right, well, you gotta listen, right? Okay, so I can go, whatever. Da 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 da. Da da da.
Da 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 da.
Da-da-dum. Right, so. Da-dum, da-dum. Da-da-da. Then he makes up his own one. And I keep doing mine. So then we're doing two, right? Da-dum, da-dum.
Boots and cats. Boots and boots and cats and
So
boots
then you
and
copy
cats
him, what he's doing, right? So you're both doing it together.
Boots and cats
And then once we're grooving, you make up your own one, right? So let's try it again, right? So, ba-da, da-dum, ba-ba-da-da-da. Copy me.
Ba-da, da-dum. Ba-da-dum.
Gotta do your own
Boots
thing.
and cats
Da-da,
and boots and cats and boots and cats and
da-da-da.
boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Ba-da, da-da-da. Da-da-da-da.
Boom, the cat. Boom, the cat. Boom, boom, the cat.
Da-da-da.
Boom, boom, the cat.
Hey, there it is, right? We don't need mics. Yeah, give it up. We don't need mics, but it's just to show them. So we can all do that, and then all of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 of us. Then we just created a massive song. You know what I mean? Super fun. It's just easy. You do it with your friends, whatever. You know, it's super fun. This is how I learned. It's basically improv. Like comedians would do this too. They would do something weird, like I'm an animal. Then that person's got to be an animal, and then it's just fun stage stuff. But can I show you my gear? You guys want to do this? Let's all of us make a song. Kind of what we did. I'm gonna add all of y'all to a new song. So, you guys ready to make some music? Yeah? Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to start something super simple. Turn this down a little bit. And then you guys are going to add to it. So I'll show all you guys right here. This is how simple it is to loop on this machine. Can you guys see it? Come here. I just press that button, and anything I say when I touch that button twice is going to record it. Want to say something? Yeah, come on, buddy. Give me a noise or something. So, like on 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? So now you can do any rhythm if you want. So that's you. I'll turn it up.
I was going to do this.
Okay, let me turn it up if you're going to do that, because that's a quiet sound, so we got to turn the gain up. Do that again on 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what we call perfect, dude. Nailed the little water drop. Low 5, high 5 coming at you. So we got that, right? Who wants to go next? You want to do it, Bane? Come here, buddy. Right here, bud.
Wait, why
Okay.
do I have a microphone? Should I do it?
In a second, yeah. All right, Bane. You ready, bud? So make a fun noise on 1, 2, 3.
No, I
What?
can make noise. 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 No, 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 noise. Noise. Noise.
Press that button right there.
Noise.
It's you, buddy. You want to do one? Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right, who's next?
Me?
Oh, okay. I'm going to give you a high five and give you the mic. Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Beans. All right, so in a second, I'm going to ask you to press your button, your designated button. That one's yours, so you're going to press that in a minute.
Okay.
But now, right now, everyone who didn't do this portion, so 1, 2, 3. Well, I'll do Bane's. He's kind of playing with toys.
Noise.
Yep. And all of you are going to record into this one. Okay? So I'm going to start, let's see what we got here. We got
Noise.
those are fire. So we got All right, so we got a loop. Who wants to go next and make a loop? Oh, yeah. I'm giving you the mic. So add on top of this in 2, 3, and go. All right, who's next? Oh, you already went. You already went. Let's get you. You're chilling in the back. Let's get you, my man. Anything you want to do? Yeah. Nice. That's right. And on rhythm, let's go. All right, someone needs to give me like a weird noise or like a melody if you want to sing. You got a real noise. All right. A weird noise. Oh, I love that even more. All right. So remember to be loud because we can turn it down, but we can't turn it up. The face sells it. High five, buddy. Woo! Oh my goodness. That was a hard high five. All right, so I'm gonna turn mine down. All right, we got it. Are you ready to rock the microphone? Yeah. Anything you want to do? There it is. All right. Okay, my man, you ready? Step up, step up. All right. All right, so I'm gonna take mine out. Because we got stuff. I'm gonna delete that one. Wait, who hasn't made a noise? Switch your mics. You haven't made one yet? Okay, we're gonna add you to maybe your Okay, that's everybody, right? So now I need you guys to jam. So what we got here, I'm gonna filter this real quick. Right? So listen to the rhythm, right? So you want to be on rhythm with it. So you go. Rhythm. Okay. Give it up for the kids. Thank y'all for jamming with me. Okay, that from you. All right. David, you want to come back up? So almost every show I've ever done, I bring 4 people on stage. We didn't do it last night because not a lot of time. And usually when I'm doing my loop-based shows. So when I just have this magic. So I'd make a beat. I'd ask people on stage, do just that, sample them, and I'm like, oh, that's what can I make out of that? Oh.
Noi.
We got a cool vocal sample, you know. That's like that's almost some hip hop right there. We got. Okay, that's if I put a delay on that. It's like almost like a laser beam, right? Beans. And beans over here. I mean, that's just like I could layer that under a kick or something. So, you know, I'd be like. Maybe just one time, right? Back around and right, so.
Noi.
Okay, that's a cool sample.
Noi.
Okay, that's cool. What do we got? Okay, we got a little. Here we go. Put that on the. Put that on the. Oh, I put that in. Put that on the. I accidentally recorded my voice in there. Put that on the. I might be able to undo that. Put that on the. No. Put that on the. 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 Sometimes it might be too much, but then you add bass and it makes it a little better. Put that on the. 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 You know? Drop the beat. Fun with noise. Granted, that was a lot of noise. You know, there's a lot going on there. So you simplify. You take things out. You see what works. You build. You know, just like a painter, they have tons of colors. What all of you did up here was a new color that no one has ever heard because you did it in the present moment. So anything goes when you are creating. Anything goes when you are creating. Anything goes when you are creating. And that's my lecture for today.
That's beautiful.
So.
Do Q&A or
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
So let's open this up to parents and kids. And the fun thing about a Q&A is sometimes you say, does anybody have any questions? And nobody does, and they miss out because this is a chance to be able to have a conversation. Because I think music, people don't realize, and one thing people talk about stage presence that I figured out early on was that they call this in theater the fourth wall. And they basically, it's that when you're watching a theater, you're watching something on television, you can't interact. But do you guys remember Saved by the Bell? Remember Saved by the Bell? Zach Morris was a master at breaking the fourth wall.
Freeze.
Yeah, and so he basically and then talk to you, you know? It's like he had a conversation with you. And music is a really cool chance because that fourth wall always feels a lot more open. You know what I mean? Because the crowd has a chance to interact. And we talk about having in-ear monitors, but one thing we were scared of with having in-ear monitors is losing that connection. Like the littlest thing a crowd does, like laugh or scream, that energy we feel. So I want you guys to know that like you are part of this conversation, and call and response is always part of it, and you are the response, you are the call. So is there any question you've ever wanted to ask? Any question? Go ahead.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a deep,
deep
powerful question. Wow.
For me, that comes from, you never know what someone is going through. You know, so I got bullied when I was in junior high, and what happens is you develop more tough skin, especially if you're good. You're like, if you don't know this person, you don't know what they're going through, and you're obviously not friends with them, and you don't like what is happening to you. You know what I mean? But you can just be like, I'm not cool with this. You can tell someone about it, first of all, you know? That's the first thing you should do. If that's happening to you, you tell your parent, tell your teacher, and confide in your besties, and be like, this is not cool, dude. But if it persists, like it did with me, I wasn't super bullied, but I got thrown up against lockers. I was the shortest kid in my class. And I still, I was like, because I was weirdo, making noises and having fun. And I was like, dude, if you don't want to be a part of that, that's cool. We're not friends. No hard feelings. You know what I mean? But definitely tell someone, obviously. Immediately.
You asked one of the heaviest and most powerful questions, like drop.
Right.
I mean, there are philosophers and psychologists that have been analyzing this forever. But one thing is really powerful, and you'll never unsee this, is a lot of times people get mad at me because they want to do what I'm doing and be myself. It's scary for people to see somebody else be themselves and wish they could do that, and they almost don't want you to do that because they're not just jealousy. It's not being a hater. It's like it's deeper than that. They literally want to be free, and the easiest thing they can do because they've been bullied or they've seen the world go against them is that you are. If you go out and be yourself, people are going to be but not everybody.
Yeah, but on that too, I love this. I love this question. The envy thing, jealousy. People want what you have, even though because they don't know that they secretly have it. We all have a voice, you know what I mean? And some people, you have to let it out in unfortunately, anger or violence, being bullied. It could be name calling online. It could be people got to let that out because maybe they can't do it at home. Maybe they can't, and they don't know what they're doing. It could be subconscious or conscious, And some people might not. They're being mean and they don't know they're being mean. We call that narcissism. But
Exactly.
But. That's a great question. Thank you, for asking it. And
one more thing on that, why that's so powerful is I think when you're like guys like Tori, I've been this height since I was like, in 7th grade. And not everybody, the funny thing about bullies, I was lucky I was never a bully because I was tall at first and I still am tall. But I remember these bullies stop growing. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it was some of the craziest things. You come back and after the summer and that bully is no longer able to bully. And it was like, welcome to the growth spurt.
I never had that. I shrunk.
But I will say, if you are in a position, one of the things my dad was really proud of is that stand up for your friends and know it's okay. Don't bully the bully as much, but it's important if you do have the chance to be able to stand up for people that can't stand up. That's what we call heroes.
Yes. And here's the thing about bullies. They stop being bullies at some point.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's sooner than later, but every bully that ever bullied me came up to me later and was like, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? You know, especially your kids, you got a lot to learn. You got growing to do. Everyone's growing. The only constant in life is change, and we are all changing at all times. And you can grow positive, more positive every day because life is beautiful. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have great days. The hard days are going to make the great days even greater. So
I had someone come up to me at the show, and I forgot. I don't remember. But she's like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't very nice to you back in the Jet Deck days, and it's bugged me forever." And I'm like, "I don't remember that." But I'm like, she's been carrying this thing that she wasn't like nice to me like 20 years ago. But it's like, so my thing is, don't. And maybe she needed like a guitar to get it out. You know what I mean? So we have art. And art, we all have frustration. We all get angry or hungry.
Yeah.
And so use art. Because I think if a lot of bullies had an outlet, and also just get it out.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
let it
the thing.
fester.
If I get frustrated, I'm like, you know, I let it out. Like, that's the beautiful thing about music, singing, rhythm, drummers. Drummers, I feel like, you know, they're never angry because they're letting it out all the time. See, there must be some angry people in these rooms in a drum school. You know, people like
Animal,
you know?
Animal, the freaking Muppet.
Yeah, animal. Beat drums, animal, not eat drums.
Before we pass it to Spade, I want to say something about Spade. I was so happy. He was a junior, I was a freshman, and he was at the cool table. He let me sit there. But I think part of the reason why Tori was so chill and so nice, because he went out in the football field and got it out. You know what I mean? He found ways. Like, he would hit really hard, and it'd be like, at lunch, he's like, wow, hit everybody. You know what I mean?
The most important thing is, like, if you're going through anything, obviously talk to someone first. But here's the thing is, like, it's going to affect you, but just try and brush it off. You know what I mean? Because it has nothing to do with you. Unless you are antagonizing someone. If I'm poking the bear.
Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
The bear's going to come try and eat me. You know what I mean? So, you know, stay positive.
Write journals. Also, write your ideas down. Get them out. Get them on paper, recording. So,
all right.
Question. Tori.
Repeat what?
Oh, yeah, repeat the question. You got it. I can do that. It's my job. I'm going to translate that beautiful question.
Yeah.
That beautiful question he asked was, how did you deal with the fact that sometimes getting on stage is scary? And how did you overcome that? And how did you become yourself? Because we weren't always as dope as people think we were. And a lot of imposter syndrome things. So Tori asked a great question. How did you get up there before you were maybe ready to get up there?
Okay, so for me, soon as I got the microphone, and everything unlocked. I was like, oh, I can do this in front of people now. So how am I going to do that? How can I perform in front of people?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm just like making weird stuff up. Is that going to translate? Like, people are going to even like that? Like, you don't know until you try. And so I went to open mics, which is like, open mic is anyone, you sign up on a sheet, and anyone can have like 10 minutes on a microphone. You can do whatever you want, say whatever you want. And in my high school, we had an open mic. Someone started one during lunchtime. So you could say anything. You could swear. You could do all these things. It was freedom of speech. You know, it was started by our English teacher and our drama teacher. And some crazy things were said on the mic. Some people that think they're funny came up and they're getting over their fears about performing in front of people. You know, And that was like, it was kind of a quintessential thing for me. I was like, oh, open mics, cool, open mics. I gotta find more open mics, you know, and because I'm just beatboxing. I didn't have gear. I didn't have loop pedals at the time, you know. I'm just finally have a microphone, you know, amplify the sound. For anxiety, my anxiety was more at home because I grew up on a street as an only child with no kids on it. So I didn't really have friends till I was 10 until we moved to a place where like there was a cul-de-sac and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I grew up on a street with like, so I was already like, my anxiety had already built up because I was already had all these voices in my head and I was doing cartoons and beatboxing, not knowing it was beatboxing. So for me, it was almost the opposite for me. And then that's not in everyone's case. I was like, I couldn't wait to be like, what's up? What's your name, dude? Do you want to hang out sometime? Do you want to like make some noise? Like my best friend, the day I talked to him, I was like, he makes fun of me all the time because I went up to him and I was like, what's up? I'm Blake. Do you want to be in my group? I wanted to be in Boys to Men so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we're going to be boys to men to men. No, you know, like, you know.
Boys for Men.
Yeah, so we're going to sing doo-wop, you know. Like, I wanted to be like the vocal group and just sing all the time. And he'll never forget it. I was an 8th grader, and I was like, I'm going to be a singer. I just knew, you know what I mean? And no matter what, no one was going to stop me. Weird to be that kid, but I was that kid my whole life because I was kind of forced to do things on my own, and that's kind of how I became a looper. I was in an a cappella group, and I loved sharing that. Like what we did on stage, where you start something, and then I copy you, and then I make my own thing, and someone else. I did that with 4 other guys in an a cappella group, and we did it every show. And sometimes they would be crazy. It's like, oh, I wish that was recorded because like that could have been our next single. You know what I mean? So what I try to do when I'm on stage, long story long, is like, if a loop is good, I can save it in here, and then that's going to inspire a song down the road. That has nothing to do with anxiety.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was the second part?
Before we pass this girl's had her arm
Did I
up
answer that
forever.
for you?
But I want to say one more thing about these kids. You live in a time where everything's recorded. It's a double-edged sword. We lived in a time where we could do something dumb and it would like be forgotten.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing is a lot of your genius ideas are going to be captured. But the scary thing for a lot of young kids, all the dumb things they did at 7 years old, like you were the kid at 7 years old that chopped down the cherry tree. You know what I mean? So, but let's ask another question of one of these kids. Any kids have a question? She had her arm up forever. Do you have a question in the back? You were just stretching your arm out? Okay, go ahead.
So, did you ever beatbox and like actually made a song that people like dance to or like?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, all the time, man. You know,
The question has he made a beatbox song? It's a good question that people just immediately dance to. Like, that question is so good. Ask it again. Come over here. Ask in the mic.
oh yeah, has
Professional
any
dance, great question.
professional dancers danced to my stuff?
A collaboration.
Yeah. Like I've done some choreography with like 4 other dancers, and I'll be like. And they'd be like, they'd be popping and locking and doing all the stuff, man. That's the art form of dance is beautiful, you know. Oh, I love
cool.
that, man. Heck yeah. I wanted to be a b-boy so bad, you know what I mean? And when I started beatboxing, like the b-boy crew kind of let me in. Like I was like, can I come kick it with you cool dudes that are like breakdancing? Because then I'd be like, oh, sick, dude. You know, doing windmills and
And don't be afraid if you want to try a move out. In fact, do you want to show them a move? You can beatbox off it if you feel it. Whenever you feel it. Do it. There you go. Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, just get on the road, baby. Yeah.
No.
Hey, you know what? Before we get to Lorette's son, that's the bravery. You know what's cool about that? is that forever, for the rest of your life, you could have just said, no, I'm good, and you did it.
And you
right?
just jumped up and did
right,
it,
you
man.
did it.
You know?
And that's later someday, 20 years from now, when you're teaching, you're gonna tell a story of like, I was with the famous B Shorty, and he didn't even know I had it like that.
Yeah. Speaking on that, good point. It's like, if you don't say yes, you're never gonna know the outcome.
Yeah.
When someone asks you something, and you're just kind of like, no, I'm cool. You're like, and then you'll go home and you're like, why did I say no to that?
Yeah.
So many times. There's been times on stage where they're like, anyone could come up, and I'd just be like, too scared, you know? And I'd be like, I got to get over that. Like, I have mic envy. I always want to be on a microphone. This is like my best friend.
I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you. Give him a hand for that. Give the kids a hand for that. You guys collaborated, and when you write a bio, I'm a writer. So on your bio, you can say, I collaborated with Blake on an instant improv dance piece. You know, you did it. That's facts. It's documented. What's up, Ben?
I have a very important little piece of information on this topic.
Okay.
Many years ago, I was at WOMAD.
Oh, yeah, come on up here, Ben.
Hear this guy.
No, yeah. Go ahead. Say, drop it, Ben.
I was at WOMAD, and I was backstage, and I got to meet Isaac Hayes
Oh yeah.
with sunglasses.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend asked me, said, you know, my son, you know, he's a really good musician, but he's scared to play in front of other people. And I can't get him out of the basement. Do you have any words of advice? And he said, you know, when I first started, I was
Mm-hmm.
to get on stage. Put on these sunglasses so that
Mm.
how damn scared I was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wore them ever since.
Yeah.
I'm still petrified when I get on stage, but I got my sunglasses.
Yeah.
And that's, honest to God, man,
That is good.
that's what helped Isaac Hayes put himself on the stage.
And I'm gonna say one more piece of advice on that, because Ben has a great point about a secret. Everybody's got their secret to get on stage. Before we pass it to him, this wonderful kid here, I'm gonna tell you something that's one of the heaviest things I ever learned about comedy and about life. And this used to be what was really true back in the early 20th century. Back a long time ago, parents had to deal with kids passing away, and life was a lot harder than it was now. It was really hard back in the old hard times days, like Charlie Chaplin. So when Charlie Chaplin became the biggest star and producer and writer, his comedy hit very, very hard because life was very hard. And there's something that Charlie Chaplin realized that changed all of comedy, and he tapped into. When a man falls and doesn't get up, it's tragedy. When a man falls and gets up, it's comedy. And I fell and broke my rib one time on stage, and I looked like a fool, and I got back up, and I started singing the rest of the song, and the crowd loved me, and I was in pain for a month. I've fallen on stage, but I promise you, the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me on stage, the crowd loved me because I
100%.
got back up.
I have another, almost the same sailor. I played a show in Florida. It was a stage and a pool, and everyone was around it. It was this like hotel, big show, and it started downpouring, like dumping, like the worst Seattle rain you could ever imagine. You know, wintry, and I was like, nope, I'm still performing, and I performed. And I'm a legend at that place because everyone said no, but I said yes. I'm like, I'm here. I'm like, you guys still cool if I can perform for you? And they're like, oh, yes. You know what I mean?
Like Prince at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Prince
yeah.
at the Super Bowl. And I had another one in Washington, D.C. It was Earth Day. And no one wanted to play. And I played. And I was in all the papers. You know, just by saying yes, the power of yes, and not being scared to be on stage, especially if you love what you're doing, if you like making noise, you love singing, you love being a musician, you know, share your soul and your passion. You know, I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about talking to you today, about just getting out of your own way and having fun, because this is fun. Music is fun. First of all, it's fun. And if I'm not having fun, I'm doing something wrong. So I try and figure out, okay, why am I not having fun with this? Well, it was fun before. Okay, that's what it was. Cool. I need to stop doing this and continue to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, question?
Wait, did you have a question? You have a question?
No.
Okay,
no?
just making sure.
Okay.
I saw you. Kids can stretch out sometimes.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. Whenever you want to. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Good questions. Okay.
Protecting your voice. Let's start with one, and we'll compartmentalize it because those are two great questions. So,
Very good question.
yeah,
So,
so
how do
yeah.
you protect your voice after doing various gigs, which Dave and I have been singing and dancing
And talking.
and making noise all weekend long, loudly on microphones, phones. Sleep. Number one, sleep. And that's tough for me because I have insomnia. So today, my voice is under the weather. I'm doing my best. But I can't be like, yeah, I can't sing high today, you know, and that's okay.
But on Friday, he sounded like a choir teacher. He was like, he was up there.
Anyway, but yeah, it's tough. You know what I mean? If you have gig after gig, it's sleep, working out, taking care, warming up your voice. Me, 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 me.
Yeah.
Ha, you know, warming it up. It's a muscle, you know. For beatboxing, I just like I would just try and just do a pattern, especially when I was starting learning. So you know boots and cats, right? So boom boom cat, get a book, get a book cat, boom boom cat, get a book, get a book cat. That's a rhythm, right? But I'm saying gibberish. Boom boom cat, get a book, get a book cat. It's just rhythm. Anything I say is rhythm. Anything I say is rhythm. Anything I say is, you know, that's the fun instant creation. What was part two?
Now, part two gets into how many times did you try out for Idol? Maybe just get into that.
I'm also a tangent master. Do you guys know what tangents are? You'll learn them in math class.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not a comic. Because I could not finish a story.
The secret is go off in a tangent and find your way to fall back on the one.
Yep, exactly.
And they're like,
That's the best
that was all
comics.
planned.
All
It was,
the
no, it wasn't.
Okay, so we only have time for a couple more questions. But this one, I tried out for American Idol because a friend basically forced me to. I had no plan on doing it. I knew friends were or whatnot. You know, being in the music scene here, not a lot of people, like, I don't know anyone that even watched the show. I'd never seen it before. My friend was like, he's an Aussie, and he's like, called me up and he's like, "Hey, mate, how you doing? You all right? I'm going to go audition for American Idol tomorrow. You want to come with me?" "No, you don't? No?
No.
No?" And I was like, "No, dude, no." He's like, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm going to make sandos. We're going to get some Starbucks. It's going to be great." I'm like, "No, dude, no." 4 in the morning? What? You want me to wake up 4 in the morning? Changed my life. I said yes. Because I said yes. Why not? I have nothing to lose. I was like, I'm not working in the morning. I'm going to miss some sleep. I went with him because they did the sign up like a week before.
Yeah.
And I was late. I'm like, you know, they ended up being in town for a week. They're in town for like a week when they come to your town. I don't know any of this. I don't know any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going there and I sign up last. And for some reason, that day, it was dumping for hours. It was like the worst Seattle rain. And there, of course, it's like Ryan Seacrest's like, with his Starbucks, like, well, we're in Seattle. You're like, come on, man. You know. Anyway, they started backwards. So I ended up going first. So what could have been a 12-hour day of you know, because it was just a cattle call. They just, 4 people go up. There's like booths. And they're like, you sing, you sing, you sing. You two, you made it. You two go home. It was like that quick. So in the process of American Idol, I had to audition 2 days later for like lower producers, you know, they're like checking you like, oh, you're good enough to go on to the next level. Like, what's your background? They make you sign like, I was like, oh, like, I got a song with Twista. I was on Seattle radio, the hip hop groups. opened for like all my hip hop stuff, and then that went up the chain, and it was like, oh, like Randy, he's got the whole list. They know, you know, going in. It's not just like, who are you? It's like they know who you know. There's like they already got a list, like background. And so by the time I got to Paula, Simon, Randy, that was like the 5th audition for 5th or 6th. And before that, it was Nigel Lithgow, the main producer of the show. You go to the main producer of the show before you go to the on-air personalities. So the main dude is who you got to impress. So if you got through before Paula and Simon and Randy, you're probably going to make it. You're going to make it at least on the show, maybe not the live show. But back then, it was like a month of auditions. They showed, you know, the worst, the best, the good, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you make it to Hollywood Week, and they only show like one clip from then. Maybe they do it differently now. I don't know. But it was 3 days, and I had to sing 3 different songs. And that's where my anxiety came, because I lost my voice, kind of like I didn't have it today.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no. I prepared Papa Was a Rolling Stone, because I would go bum 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 bum. And then I just start with that. It was the 3rd of September, the day I'll always remember. Not in this key, but you know. So that was the first thing I did there. I got a standing ovation from all the other contestants, but they never showed that on television at all. You know. And then then it was the group performance, and then it was another one by yourself. And then if you made it past then you're in the top 100 or something. You made the top 100. And then there was another one where it was like it was all, obviously it's all filmed. So I would say it was 9 auditions before I made it to the live show. Wow. It's 9. And it was crazy because I'm calling friends like, what do I do? Like, the only thing that I knew about the show is like live. It is live. I can say anything on the microphone and it will be my destroyer or gift. You know? And so I just said thank you a lot, and I smiled a lot. Because I got a mouth on me.
Yeah.
So, good question. Thank you.
Let's get someone else had a good question. Who's got a question, kids?
The answer is 9. Number 9. Number 9.
Spade.
Spade.
Spade, what's your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Now, this again will be sort of a 2-part, and I think we might be preaching to the choir a little bit because you children are here, you youth are here, the youth is here, and the parents are here supporting them, which is extremely important. But the first question would be for the youth, right? And I'll give you the 2 and then address it how you choose to. Is, you know, when everybody's playing football, soccer, baseball, all the things. Maybe the creative thing isn't something that kids get a lot of support of, for with their friends and their peer group. What can a youngster do to keep working on their talent, to hone their skills when it's not something that you run out to the park and everybody's doing, right? Maybe some practices. And what does it look like for somebody who really wants to be serious and be great in their craft? What kind of time, right, should they expect to put into something like that? And then the second part I'll get out of the way is for parents. Right? Parents are so busy. We got a lot going on. It costs a lot of money just to live, to be involved in extracurricular activities. How can parents be more supportive to these youngsters as they're pursuing and they show some interest in the arts like that?
Oh, these are great questions. Thank you, brother. First question. Well, now, because you asked to say what can parents do? I'll just go back to my parents. I love that my mom was a singer. It was great. I got to grow up watching her perform, so I was like, oh, okay, like she's doing it for the love. She wasn't doing it for a lot of money. She was just, I was very fortunate enough to look up to someone, and it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a famous person. Just like having a little bit of inspiration goes a long way. But my parents were oblivious to programs. You know, I didn't know that in this town there was the Village Theater. There's the Kids Theater. There's, you know, all these things. And I didn't know about stage. I was doing sports, and I loved football. Like, I wanted to be a running back so bad, but I was B shorty. I was this big, you know what I mean? I was like, that's not in the cards for me, and that's fine. I found my voice, and I loved singing, but I'm like, I want to do it more. So I in junior high, I found another extracurricular choir. You know, it's like, it's choir music. I didn't know that, like, oh, I could be Duran Duran or Michael Jackson or something, like the Inspos. I was like, they got there somehow. Now you have a thing called a search engine, you know, and you can literally look up anything, like how to beatbox, how to, you know, knit, you know what I mean? And probably from someone that you love and adore already, that is an inspiration, which is such a powerful tool, the way that we can communicate now. And I've reached out to people. So for parents, I'm like, just do it. My mom would say, do the footwork, which is just like, take you 10 minutes and be like, look up children's theater program, you know, really talk to your child and see what they really want to do. And, you know, I was like, I did taekwondo and I did soccer and I did that. And as soon as I found, like, that your child finds the thing, it's like, okay, cool, we found it. Yeah. It's like, all right, cool. And then you can branch off of that, like, oh, you know, there's a barbershop quartet. Like, I didn't know I wanted to sing barbershop, and it was like, here we go, this is fun, cool. I did it for a little bit, you know, but it was still in the vein of music, and getting voice lessons, and like so many avenues for children to perform now, which there wasn't when I was as young. There probably was, but it's so much easier. There's like bulletin boards. I'm sure there's tons of stuff coming through this school here, and there's other schools, you know, and the great learning experience is just fun. And going back to like practicing and repetition, your first question, for me, there's no set amount of time. There's no wrong time. It's like just doing it. And you know when you're like, okay, some guitarists I knew grew up and were doing like 4 to 8 hours a day. They're like, and me, I was just tinkering at a piano, and then when I got the microphone, I started beatboxing. And the nice thing about being a beatboxer and a singer, you can do it anywhere at any time. Right. You know? If you're doing music, you got to have an instrument. You got to carry it around. You got to actually, it's tangible. You got to have it in your hands. And I love piano, and I would just ding things out. Like I had piano lessons, and it was all like classical music. And I love classical music, but I didn't. I could learn the hottest pop song. I could learn Billie Eilish. I could learn Taylor Swift. I could learn my favorite rock bands. Oh, I can learn that? That's cool. You know, it's all about asking the question, like, can I do this? How can I do this? Where can I do this? Who can I do it with? Right. You know, and then also finding your peer group, like, oh, like I met my favorite humans, like, because of those questions and you know, having fun at choir and on the stage with people.
Can I say one thing? One thing I encourage my children to do, and since they're so imperfect like their father, they don't always do it. But you youngsters, as much time as you spend, if you are able to spend time on YouTube or your devices or video games, like Blake just said, we're in an information age. You can Google, you can YouTube pretty much anything that you ever desire to do, right? So if that interest is there, maybe once, twice out of every 10 times you would get on a video game, take 2 of those times and click on YouTube or on Google and search up something that you're very interested in terms of the arts.
It's a great point. Every day I watch YouTube. I watch comedy. I'll watch some cool, funny clips or something. But I always end it with a 10-minute tutorial on something I didn't know. Music, could be vocal, could be anything. Production, I produce music. And it's like instant, like, oh, it could just be one 30-second clip that I just watched, and then I pause it. And then I'm like, I'm going to go do that now. I just inspired something completely that I didn't even think of before because, you know,
they call it garbage in, garbage out, but also feed your mind. Is like what you put in. One of the ways we stay creative is we keep feeding ourselves. And a lot of times the creativity is all these things your brain thinks when you're asleep, your dreams. You're not thinking. So just always remember, as you put in good information, good albums, it's going to come out in a cool way. We got a wonderful question from this young man. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She said,
Sorry.
You can't see.
I'm blind. I can't see lights. Ma'am.
Come here, please. Hurry up. Come on. Come on.
Take the
Come on, hang
mic.
up
Take the mic.
So there's this thing that I'm in a 4th and 5th grade split class. I'm a 4th grader. So there's this thing that we do in our class where one of the 5th graders get with the 4th grader and they just talk about their interests and things they like, or just things, or like questions or things they don't understand or understand. And it's called Coco, like where the teacher says Coco and the kids clap back and then they like run over the room trying to find someone that they do not like or maybe don't even know in general, and they just like talk to them. And I was wondering if, I'm not sure what we're doing today, but I was wondering if we could do something like that maybe with one of the like older kids or one of the adults.
I think that's a great idea, and that's awesome, because that's especially because that's 4th and 5th grade. You're like different ages, not by a lot, but like you're getting to know someone older, someone younger. I think that's a wonderful exercise, and you should definitely do that. Like, these are your peers. I think everyone should like meet each other and talk to each other and just say like, what are you into? Before you guys leave today, say hello to each other.
Yeah. Hey, one thing, my James is one of the big supporters of me. He gave funding for us to the Columbia City Theater right across where the One Room was. My man James Byler flew all the way from Germany. And part of the reason he came here was to be here right now from Germany. And give him some love.
Guten Tag.
He had a dream a long time ago to become a person that put on shows. And he had a dream to do that. And he recognized me as a person that could work with him. And even when he had to go to Germany and build helicopters to the United States and do these things, he found a way to work with me on building a dream. And this whole Up West Fest thing would not have happened if James hadn't always have been there for us through the years.
Ooh, thank you, James.
And the thing about this is a man, he said something to me so beautiful. He said, David, you said something on stage that I told my kids. Come on, hey, James, come up here and just say what you said to me, because I said it, but it's because a lot of times decent minds think alike. Tell them what you had to say.
I can't remember. Hang on, don't run off, because I can't remember exactly, but at the show last night, David put out something to everybody in the audience, and this is something I kind of always try to instill in my kids, who are all grown now, to follow their dreams. And I want him to say it, because the way you said it was so eloquent, but it just struck me as like, oh my God, I'm hearing this from a third party now.
Yeah. Well, I think what I was getting at as I was riffing, because a lot of times in life we're just talking. There's like, I remember what you said. I'm like, I don't, but I do remember this, is that we forget those little steps. You know what I mean? A small step for mankind. It's like, it really is. The little things you do become big things. And I'll tell you something, it's a flaw about humans, what also makes us great, is sometimes we forget the hard times. A lot of times, Bobby McFerrin told my friend Kane, he said, how do I get over writer's block? I hate saying the word writer's block, but Bobby McFerrin, who's a big influence on you, the master of making sounds, right? He said something that's so true about life. You sometimes think you're in writer's block because you forgot the little steps. You forgot the little things you did, and you forget all the pain, all the sorrow, and you suddenly go, how do I write a song? How do I write a movie? You forgot that it was always the little dreams you had that add up to those things, right? And so that changed my life here in that story, right? Because if you have a dream, think it could be a small thing. I want to have a sandwich today. If that's your dream, achieve that dream and learn how to make a sandwich will get you to the next level. You might become a chef. So my point is that have a dream. James had a dream, and one of the cool things about having a mentor and a friend like this, every time I called James needing a favor, not once did he say no. Think about that. I never asked him, but when you have heroes and you have people that want to help you, I was always not afraid to ask James, but I know if I need something. He helped us finish our album He helped us finish our music video. Who's always there for us. So having people around you that want to help you make your dreams happen, build and always think about their dreams too. And by doing this, we help make one of James's dreams come true. So ask your friend, what's your dream? How can I help? You'll be surprised.
Yeah.
You might have the same dream.
And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
It's like it's really easy, and it's really scary for some people to do. I had to learn the hard way. Like I needed help. I needed like help with my career. I needed help.
Yeah.
Help with anything. You know what I mean? And people will be like, okay, cool. Like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like don't be scared.
And also go out there and help people. Like if you can volunteer, ask your parents, how can I volunteer? Because you kids are here because you have parental support. You guys have already won life. You have parents there that brought you here. And there are kids that, one of the reasons we made this a donation-only event was that a lot of times these schools are filled with people that have that support, but this school is honestly struggling sometimes because Steve Smith, the founder, is always trying to give opportunities don't have that opportunity. Not every school is like that. So kids, think about how you can volunteer because you are already on third base. And there's kids that aren't. And if you can help those kids get to where you are, they're never going to forget that.
That's true. Yeah.
One thing I want to add because something that I heard from you. All right, you spoke about writer's block. By show of hands, does anybody not know what writer's block is? Cool. Okay, as artists, all right, it's when we have a moment where we're not able to, or where it's difficult for us to create the next words or the next piece of music that we want to play. You're stuck, right? You run up against the wall and you don't know where to go next, okay? And I want to add this for maybe a tool, a resource for you to think about. Parents, this is for you as well. I got to a place in life, right, where I was like, man, I don't know what's going on in my day. What have I done with my day? And as we know as adults, small victories, little incremental victories throughout the day, they help us feel much better about ourselves. They help us feel a lot more accomplished. So one of the things that I did as an adult that I'm encouraging you younger folks to do, all right, is there was days where I just wrote down every single thing that I did. I swept up the floor. I washed some dishes. I did some laundry. I went to the store. When you calculate all of that at the end of a day, one, you'll realize how much you actually did in that particular day, all right? And it'll let you know that I wasn't sitting around doing just nothing. But now on the creative side of that, okay, youngsters, if you're able to write down these things that you think are very insignificant, you'll always be able to revert. You'll always be able to go back to those things. And as us writers and song creators, what we understand is it's simple things that people relate to. All right? Sometimes you think it's extravagant and flying to the moon and all those things. When you're able to write simple concepts and ideas, you're able to connect those with other individuals. So don't ever think that the small things that you do in life are insignificant, especially when it comes to content creation.
I love that. Also one more thing.
Go ahead.
For T-Spade, come on. Yeah.
I'd like to interject if I may for just one moment.
Yes.
This is the voice of Oz.
Hello, Oz.
Hello, Oz.
Council. I just want to tell you a couple of things. For one, this has been a most remarkable, informative, engaging experience. And also as a parent, a musician, and an instructor here, one of the things I learned from my father about doing anything, accomplishing anything in life, is mistakes. He would say, if you're not messing up, you're not doing anything.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It is part of the growing, learning, accomplishment process.
100%.
Mistakes.
Like earlier, I had that beat with the double T. It was like that mistake turned into a song. You know, Yeah, there you go.
You made a career out of happy accidents.
There you go, right? So, thank you, CD. That's Chris Little.
To call them opportunities.
There you go.
I'm going to raise my own hand. I'm going to say something. I actually believe, people always tell me dumb things down. I don't believe that. I think kids are actually geniuses. There's a thing called the paperclip test. the CIA figured this out. This is a game-changing thing. They took kids that were first graders and they gave them all paper clips, a whole class. And all these kids said, if I give you a paper clip, the kid goes, oh, I can make chainmail out of it. I saw that. And I can make it into this thing I can shoot across the room. I can use it to poke my little sister. They had these kids, and they came up with hundreds of ideas of how to use a paper clip. They tested the same kids by the time they got to 5th grade, and only 3 kids in that class could do that. And you know what every single kid was in kindergarten? A creative genius. And now that AI is taken over and programmers they're struggling because they spent their time learning this, they said the one thing that the computers have yet to get to is creative genius, the people that can be creative. And they don't know whether the education system is taking kids' creativity away or if it's a natural thing that kids have and might lose. But I believe that if you kids can hold on to it by creating, by art, right?
Yes.
And think about this. Tori had every excuse to stop making music. But something inside him kept going. Because maybe when he was young, he went to school in Canada. He learned about limericks. This guy was a Canadian student. Thankfully, he had an experience that a lot of African-American people of your age and where you came from in Texas didn't have. And maybe that experience kept that spark alive. Isn't that true? Yeah. So keep trying. Another thing I'll say is, go ahead.
Oh, no.
And the last thing I want to tell you guys how to say is that I don't believe we should dumb it down. Aristotle has a thing called catharsis. This is supposed to be something you learn in college, but you kids can learn it. Catharsis is simply, I've been in pain, and you've been in pain. And we share that, right? Because that's something we have. So we all fell. We all fell on our knees and scraped our knee. And just talking about scraping my knee, I now connect with everybody. Maybe I fell out of a tree. There's millions of kids that fell out of a tree back before when you could used to climb trees. They can't do it anymore. So the point is that catharsis, and that's what blues is. It's a mystery. How come blues is so sad but we feel so good? Because you know somebody else out there has felt what you felt.
Yes, that's music right there.
And that's supposed to be a 12th grade thing.
Can I just say, I thank all of you for coming out and participating and getting on stage and having fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something today. Did any of y'all learn something today? Did you guys have a good time? Yay, all right.
And last thing is this. You know what, kids? You were not supposed to have focused that long. Do you understand how crazy it is for kids to focus for 2 hours? You guys are mental Olympians, and we're also quite entertaining, and we get paid to do this. Bravo.
Right.
Any other closing remarks?
Yeah. And I'm always available. I mean, parents, if you ever need to reach out or anything, my email's on my Instagram, and I respond to Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. If you ever questions or, your child is like doing something, send me cool videos and I'll repost them or, all that stuff.
That's a big deal, kids. That's a big, big deal. Any closing remarks that you have as an audience member and friend?
When you mentioned AI, it reminded me of something that I saw where it was like, I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so I can create and not the other way around.
Yeah, that's a great quote. I saw that the other day too. I want AI to do my chores so I can just create. I love it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you do have something.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much we can talk about in the future over coffee with this subject. But I will say this, guys. The donations that you guys gave made this possible in this drum school. We could do more things like this. We can get more people. Blake might say, hey, when you come to Seattle, you should talk to drum school. There are so many people that want to see this happen, and this is the seed. They say a mustard seed can make a big tree. You guys are the mustard seed. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Drum School. Pastor KZ.
Get a word from
Thank
KZ.
you, Blake Lewis.
Yes.
Big applause, y'all. for taking the time. And thanks to David for emceeing and leading this conversation. And thanks to Tori. And thank you to all of the attendees. So here at Seattle Drum School of Music, I do need to let you know that we have a monthly youth music showcase that everybody gets to participate in. It's called Second Sundays at 3. And we try to have a featured act, and then the stage is open for open mic, and after that we Mojam. So Mojams has been going on for 11 years for the 21 and up crowd at Nectar Lounge, but now we do it once a month here for the kids. And what that means is that any musician under 21 will be put on stage with a band of strangers, and you make it up. And that is the whole beauty of the creative process. And we are working on building a youth community where kids can come and find other people to collaborate with and be creative with. So second Sundays at 3, I have flyers here that I can share with you. And if you could tell all of your other creative young friends, we would love to see you here. Shout out to Chris C.D. Littlefield for being our audio and live stream engineer back there. He is also our trumpet and trombone and music production instructor extraordinaire, as well as our production manager. I'm KZ, school manager here at Seattle Drum School of Music, Georgetown. We do teach all the instruments to all the ages, all the skill levels. Just when it started 39 years ago, it was Steve Smith teaching drums, but since then it's grown and grown and grown. We have this South Seattle school. We also have another full service school in Lake City in North Seattle. So if you haven't been here before, I would love to tour you through the school. We have new t-shirts, Seattle Drum School of Music t-shirts, and they are 5 cents. They are 5 cents. They've been 5 cents for 39 years. I don't think we're going to change that. So, yeah, let's connect. Don't run away. Meet some people before you leave. Yeah, pictures with Blake. If you got any content and you put it out on any of the platforms, please tag Blake Lewis. Please tag Veterans of the Arts. And please tag Seattle Drum School so we can grab your content and share it with all of our platforms. And, you know, I know that Blake lives in Las Vegas now, but we're hoping that we get to do this with him maybe like once a year whenever he comes back. So, yeah? I got a yeah. All right, y'all. This has been a blast. Thanks so much. You can find the live stream on our YouTube and our Facebook under Seattle Drum School. And with that, we are out. Yeah, yeah.